When you dissolve this fear as a conscious awakening entrepreneur, the potential for you to 10x or more your impact, influence, and income, creating massive waves of momentum in terms of revenue, cash flow, and soulmate clients coming into your world is so possible. I see so many conscious awakening entrepreneurs making 10, 20, 30, $50,000 months that are still holding on to this fear, and it's stopping them from moving into those exponentially higher revenue months. And honestly, it's taking a lot of joy out of their business and bringing you into subtle fear energetics. It brings on scarcity, it brings on lack, it brings on overwhelm, frustration, no matter where you are. So we're going to talk all about this fear, how to dissolve it, and I'm going to share a real-time example of how I was tested by this fear, how my beloved, who I run a business with, was tested by this fear recently. So that way you can walk away from this episode feeling confident to dissolve this fear, noticing where this fear comes up and how to transcend this fear. So that way the cash flow clients, the impact and influence can flow in easefully. Welcome to another episode of the Golden Age Entrepreneurship Show. We are the spiritual, heart-centered entrepreneurs who are awakening humanity through sharing our gifts, genius, and medicine with our transformational programs and offers to the world, calling our brothers and sisters to rise into their full purpose, power, and potential. This is for the healers, the coaches, the consultant, the online service-based providers, and all of you who are creating physical, tangible products that bring transformation to the world. I'm Spence Madden, your coach, your mentor, and your fellow soul brother, founder of New Earth Business Coaching. And every day I bring you a conscious leadership or New Earth business tip, strategy, lesson to apply so you can create your $1 million movement and scale your business with simplicity, ease, and flow. So this fear is one that I've had to deal with many times on the entrepreneurial journey. And this is the fear of being called out. This is the fear of cancellation. This is the fear ultimately of speaking your truth. Being canceled, the fear of being canceled really comes down to not speaking your truth. And right now, we need more entrepreneurs than ever before speaking their truth, calling forth exactly what they're meant to hear, to say, and be in this world. That is what it means to be a soul with a mission. I've gone through this many, many times, and often it shows up as messages or comments on my social media posts. I had a post go viral a little while ago where I was talking about men's work and men healing themselves. And honestly, in full transparency, it was a little bit of a ramble. It was one of those ones where I just love to hold up a camera and just talk as I'm walking down the sidewalk, and I threw it up, and it went totally viral. But the comments, like 50% of them were extremely what you would call harsh, mean, right? Like personal attacks on me. Some of them included I think the comment was, "You're too sexy to be this crazy." Another one was, lots of "get back on your meds. You forgot to take your meds." Another one was, "Hey, go back in. Your Starbucks manager is calling your shifts over." All of these things that were just hurled at me. Now, the big key is when it comes to people commenting, first of all, when you know who you're speaking to and know how to target your marketing message to your ideal client, the likelihood of this goes down. However, there's always the possibility of things going viral when you use a hashtag like consciousness or something like that, where it just gets picked up and a lot of people who aren't your ideal client see it. And this is where your leadership comes in. When you see these types of comments and when you fear cancellation, it means that you're not in the energy of forgiveness. Now, I've been studying the Course in Miracles recently, and while I don't agree with everything in that text, I love the idea and the concept about if there's any fear, you're not in forgiveness. I see every comment, every moment when you're challenged by someone for speaking your truth as a moment to forgive because they're not you. If you're speaking your truth confidently and this is what you know in your heart, then beautiful. Forgive the other person. Let it be let it just be a simple test, a little matrix test of forgiveness. Great. This person came at me in the comments or sent me a mean message. That's fine. Forgive them. Another example is ever since I've been an entrepreneur over the last 15 years, my parents, so I love them, they're great people, especially my dad, have always asked questions like, "How's the little business doing?" And he doesn't mean to be condescending. It's just what we do is not on his radar. He's an engineer. He's very much in the system, which is fine. But we just kind of laugh and smile, and my partner and I used to get triggered by it. But now we literally just laugh and smile and be like, It's doing really great. Thanks for asking." And because it's not really in his level of consciousness to continue that conversation, then we move on to other subjects. It's not a big deal. Now, one of the reasons I brought this up and it's kind of hot on our heart is because my beloved is running a campaign inviting into her mastermind, which is I'm a part of. It's called The Catalyst. It's for awakening women on a scale into reoccurring 6 and 7 or 5 and 6 figure months and 7 figure years. It's for the visionary women who want to be amongst sisterhood as they scale with simplicity, ease, and flow. Very powerful container. She's been marketing it. And literally, my cousin, who I haven't talked to in like 10 years, like lashed out at her and said something to the effect of, "This is twin flame lunacy at its finest. You're preying on the lonely and the manipulable. It's absolutely disgusting." And then then unfollowed her. And it was kind of funny because we found it a little funny because we haven't even heard from him. He's made no attempt to connect or comment on other posts, anything like that. So there's clearly some triggering and wounding going on with him to even just lash out like that. But first of all, we kind of laughed, like, okay, great, we've cleared this person out of our audience. Remember, you're always going to have people leave your audience when they're not in alignment. This is why I always talk about creating $1 million movements full of ideal soulmate clients, because your audience will come and go. It can include people who don't really give a shit about what you are and what you do, and that's fine. But if you have a movement, this is actually people who are in alignment with what you're doing. So many of you who aren't having the success you want in terms of cash flow and clients is because you have a audience, not a movement. I have many ways to move from audience to movement, and that's for another discussion. Go back and search movement in some of the previous podcasts for tips and strategy on how to do that. But again, the reason I bring that up is he wasn't part of the movement. He was just an audience member who then lashed out with his triggering wounding. And essentially it was a matrix test for my wife to go, "Oh, okay, that's sort of funny. Ha 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 ha." And she just put a comment back that was in her leadership that said, like, essentially, like, how am I triggering this when I'm literally saying I'm helping people come into their discernment? Of course, he had unfollowed, so he didn't respond. But the point is, she plays with it and she laughed at it, and it was funny. And when she puts up those kind of comments, it essentially neutralizes the energy. And her ideal clients who see that see her in her power, not deleting that comment or caving down or just even playing into the energy. Remember, this is all about energy, frequency, and vibration. And when you are in high frequencies and you play with the energy and you laugh at it, you can't be canceled. Even if your account got flagged and lost it, that's not losing you. You would just simply restart and continue to create. And when you're in this place, it really dissolves a lot of fear, dissolves scarcity and these subtle energetics. So start speaking your truth fully, be bold, and know that this will naturally clear out people from your audience. It will clear out people who are triggered by you, and it'll also call in your ideal soulmate client. I'm going to wrap up here because I got 2% on my phone and I don't want to lose this. From my heart to yours, aho, namaste, all my relations, and please reflect on where you are letting the fear of being canceled or the fear of having people lash out on your social media stop you from speaking your truth. This is a great leadership opportunity, and the New Earth leaders who are leaning into speaking their truth clearly and are open to expanding their truth, not being dogmatic, are the ones who will have success in this new paradigm of business. Like, follow, subscribe, and I love you.